Hello, my name is Jeff White, and I'll be your host for this 5-part tutorial on the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced. The inspiration for this tutorial is a lack of documentation on certain features. My hope is that these videos will help you determine if this drone is right for you, or get the most out of your Enterprise Advanced. We will be covering camera modes, file output options, live Waypoint missions, live streamings, and a few examples. So let's get started. Okay, here we are at the controller, and we're in photo mode, visible. We're going to go ahead and start zooming. Actual zoom capability is 32 times in this mode. I'll go ahead and zoom back out some and take a picture. Continue zooming back out. In infrared mode, every time we scroll, increases by a factor of 2 with a limit of 16. Let's take another picture. In split mode, again, we have times 2 every time we scroll with a maximum of 16. Back out, take another picture. All right, now we're going to switch to video mode. I can get there. Come on. In visible mode, you're going to go ahead and start recording. Here we have a zoom factor of 4 times. Scroll back out. In infrared mode, again, we have step times 2 going up to 4 times zoom. In split mode, same thing. We have steps times 2 and times 4. And that's it. Let's go analyze what we have. Here we are seeing scaled down images from the controller and both of the cameras. Whenever you take a photo, the drone takes both a visual and thermal image. As you can see, in photo mode, the images are always captured in 1x only, with one exception. In split mode, an additional image is taken and is actually scaled properly. Here we have the actual images displayed on a 1080p canvas. The visual image looks scaled at around 6x. Let's scale it down. Here we see the full image. This apparently is what DJI means by lossless zoom. Many drones utilize 12 megapixel cameras. This 48 megapixel camera can scale 4 times without loss. In video mode, the visual camera zoom is steppy. If you're looking for cinema quality zoom, there are several cheaper drones that perform much better. Most users are probably drawn to the thermal camera anyway. Again, no zoom for the thermal camera. Later in this review, I will show you additional options which can overcome some of these shortcomings. Also note that in video mode, unlike photo mode, the visual camera zoom is identical to the live controller feed. The main concern with this drone is the inability to capture zoomed images and thermal video. This may change in a future firmware release, but until then, we will give you an option at the end of Part 4 live streaming. Next up, file output options. Welcome to file sharing options for the Enterprise Advanced. Let me first say that I don't like using the access covers on the drone for day-to-day file transfers. I feel that eventually they're just going to break off. So, I'm going to show you how to transfer images from the drone to the controller, then all file transfers will occur from there. As of this date, the only native file sharing in the Pilot app is Bluetooth sharing. I'll go over that, plus additional options. As far as transferring to devices, I'm going to take a client approach, and I'm not going to use any third-party apps. So let's get started. All right. So now that we have some images from the drone, some people would actually like to use them. Let's go over to the controller. So on the right hand side there is a play button. These are the images on the drone. To transfer to the controller, hit select, tap an image, hit download. These contain the visual, thermal, and split screen images. Alright, so the first way of getting files to your computer is through Bluetooth transfer. This is not an optimal way, but I'll show it to you. It only works on PC and Android, and I would not do videos unless somebody was actually paying me by the hour. But let's go ahead and take a look. We'll go ahead and set up the PC. Alright, so we are in Settings. I'm going to go to Devices, Send or Receive Files, Receive Files. We go to the controller now. I'm going to back out of here. Alright, so I'm going to tap the Images icon, go to the SD card, and select. I'm going to do the thermal images and share. Bluetooth. My computer is WYSIWYG. And we go back over to the PC and the file is downloading. When it's done, it will give you a chance to select the location and finish. I'm just going to cancel right now. Alright. Next method is with a USB-A to USB-C adapter to the controller. This only works for PC, but let's take a look. Alright, so I am going to attach the USB-C cable to the controller. Alright, we're going to cancel that and then transfer files. Let's go over to the PC. I'm going to close out the settings. Now we have a smart controller icon, flash drive. So, movies and screenshots are anything that you record from the controller itself. DJI, Pilot album. There are the files that we downloaded the controller. You can move, copy, paste, just like normal. Okay, the next method is with the SD card itself. So you want to make sure that the controller is powered off and not charging before you eject the SD card. Okay, so I've removed the SD card and I have a USB to SD card adapter. I like this one because it has a micro adapter on it, and so you can just slip the SD right in there without an additional adapter. So this will go into Mac or PC just like a USB file. So for iPhone and iPad, you're going to need an adapter. Now this Lightning to SD card adapter will work, but I really like this one, which has the USB and a Lightning adapter so that you can charge. So all you have to do is pop that in here, and I'm going to pop that into my iPad. And let's go over to the iPad. Alright, so we're going to go to Files, no name here, and there's all your files. So we'll go to Screenshots. Nope, let's not do that one because that is a big one. Let's go to DJI, Pilot album, and do Select. Tap the thermal image, share, save image. Go back here and go to Photos, and our file has showed up. Okay, so the final way is with a USB flash drive. So let's go back to the controller. Alright, we're going to hit the 4 squares and File Manager, go back to DJI, the Pilot, and Pilot Album. Again, we're going to go ahead and hit Edit. I'm going to select that thermal image, copy, go to the USB drive, paste. And that's it. It works the same as the SD card on all the devices I've shown you. Now, you probably noticed I haven't said much about Android. Unfortunately, the only Android device I have is an old Jitterbug phone, which is very limited. Newer versions of Android will probably be able to do all the things that I've shown you. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to leave this as inconclusive. Sorry, Android users. Next up, live Waypoint missions. Welcome to Live Waypoint Missions. Let me first say this is not a new feature. Most, if not all, DJI drones actually have this ability. Most tutorials I've seen focus on offline editing, which use maps and satellite imagery. The problem is you don't know how old the images are and you don't have elevations. So, live waypoint missions are an easy and safe way of having a reusable program for inspections, etc. So, in this video, I have sped up the recording in between waypoints. This is just to trim the time from the video, as well as makes me look like a really good pilot. Okay, here we are at the controller. We're going to do a short demonstration of the live mission flight. So we're going to go ahead and hit the back button. Mission flight, create a route, waypoint, live mission, and we're going ahead and hit the image button down in the bottom left. And let's see what we have here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and go up some 30 feet, rotate a little bit. Alright, I'm going to hit the C1 button, which is in the back left of the controller. And let's go ahead and create another waypoint. Alright, that looks good. And we're going to go ahead and do another one. And that looks good. Do another waypoint. And let's just do one more. And go ahead and focus in on this tree. And add a waypoint. And we're done. Go ahead and hit the back button. Save. Alright, now we've got a waypoint 1 mission here. We're going to tap that. Yeah, we're going to hit the little pencil icon here. And select the aircraft. Mavic 2 Enterprise. Waypoint. Speed, I'm going to set down to 5 miles an hour. And the height, I'm going to set that to about 45 feet. And these are kind of a default value. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and hit the play button. Okay, so upon completion, I'm just going to want to hover this time. I'm going to set the flight speed to 5 miles an hour, just like the other. Alright, now we can upload the flight mission and hit the start button. Okay, so now we're in autonomous flight. In this mode, I can hit the pause button and the aircraft will stop in its tracks. You don't have any control on it. If you need control for an emergency, hit the TPS button to any other position. Let's go ahead and unpause, and it continues on. This is a very powerful
thing on the aircraft. It has to fly in a straight direction from waypoint to waypoint, and at the same time maneuver the camera and gimbal. And that's basically it.
Live Waypoint missions record GPS coordinates, heading, altitude, and gimbal tilt angle for each waypoint. The program is stored on the controller so that you can reuse it at any time. Be aware that if you're going to use this at night, number one, you need an FAA Part 107 certificate. Number two, you need to add additional safety measures both horizontally and vertically. In low light, the vision positioning system does not work. GPS accuracy is plus or minus 5 feet. Plus, if you add in any wind, there's even more. Next up is live streaming. Welcome to the live streaming portion of this review. For this segment, you will need a computer or laptop and a Wi-Fi router. We are going to be setting up RTMP streaming, which allows devices on your Wi-Fi network to view the live camera feed. I will be using a software called MonaServer. There are many other software and hardware sources available. I just use this one because it's free and it's easy to use. Here we are at the PC. I have MonaServer started, and right here, 1935 is going to be our port number. If we go to search for command prompt, and then we're going to input IP config. All right, right here is our IP address. Let's go over to the drone. Okay, top right we have the three dots on the bottom. Live stream. Right underneath the RTMP live stream, we're going to select that. That's where we input our RTMP URL. So if you see, I've already filled that out. So we should be good to go there. Turn on RTMP live stream. And so on the top left, we're going to see that we are not broadcasting. I'm going to go ahead and reset MonaServer. And now we are broadcasting. All right, let's go to the iPad. Okay, so we're going to go to VLC, Network, Open Network Stream, where you see the HTTP. We're going to select that, and we're going to put our RTMP URL just exactly like we did on the drone. I already have one set up here. Oh, you will open network stream afterwards. So I'm going to tap the one I've already set up. All right, here we can see the live image as well as an iPad running VLC. And we should be able to determine the lag time between the two. Let's wait for another car or something to come by. Okay, that should do it. Let's go analyze what the lag time was. The frame-by-frame analysis came in at exactly 4 seconds. Not great, but it's also doable. The next two demonstrations use free broadcast software called OBS Studio. OBS allows streaming directly to MonaServer as well as to Facebook Live and other platforms. For this, we're going to need our controller. HDMI cable goes directly into the controller, and then we need a capture card. This little guy here has HDMI in, USB out. Costs about $20, and the stream that you're watching right now is made with one of those. All right, we have disconnected RTMP from the drone, and we're here in OBS Studio. To set it up for streaming, go to File, Settings, Stream. The service is going to be custom, and the server is going to be the identical RTMP URL that we've used before. Click OK, and let's go back to the drone. Alright, again, we're going to wait for a vehicle or something to give us a reference. Alright, there we have it. Frame by frame analysis came in at 3 seconds, which is kind of strange because 2 seconds was the average. But sometimes your network runs a little slower. Okay, so if you watch part 1, you remember that I said that there was a potential workaround for the camera's inability to capture zoomed images and thermal video. Here we go, let's do it. Alright, here we are at the controller, and we're in photo mode. And as before, we can zoom all the way up to 32 times. Not going to do it, but I'll come back down. Alright, we're going to show you a trick here. So we're going to tap the 3 dots, top right. Tap HD. Video output type. We're going to change from duplicate screen to clear camera view. Alright, so now we don't have any of the flight information. It's a little bit weird scaling, but here we go. Let's take a look. Now we can go ahead and zoom normally. Back. We're going to go to infrared. We have our normal up to 16 times zoom. And same thing on split. So in OBS, we can actually record, stream, take a screenshot. And so this is the potential solution for the actual camera not being able to record zoomed images. There's one more thing I want to show you on the controller, which could fix the weird output scaling on the HDMI visual output. So, aircraft is disconnected, but that's okay. We're going to swipe down on the screen and push and hold HDMI. Here we'll have an additional options that you can play around if you so choose. Alright, so as far as RTMP streaming, the biggest problem that you may face with not being able to send or receive is the firewall blocking your port. So you may have to do a rule which allows incoming and outgoing traffic to that port. Additionally, my Wi-Fi routers are a little old. Newer Wi-Fi routers have higher bandwidth and distance, and I also suggest having a hardwired Ethernet connection from your computer to the router. Next up is our final segment, which will have some example images. Welcome to the final part of this review. I'd like to leave you with some examples, mainly from the thermal camera. The camera has been scaled up to 1080p height, similar to if you maximize the video while playing it on your computer. Some small screen devices may not show the detail properly. This first video starts at an altitude of 60 feet and distance of 200 feet. Let's skip ahead. So here we see the camera showing where I was standing. Let's skip ahead again. Here we see the thermal imprint from standing for 50 seconds. This gave me an idea for another test. For this video, I had my car key fob in my pocket for about an hour. Let's see what happens if I toss it into the yard. Here we have a visual zoom test. Switching to thermal. Please focus on the rectangle. Did you see the car at a distance of 1,200 feet? Please focus on the new rectangle. You should be able to see the tennis players. They are at a distance of 700 to 800 feet away. Let's check out something in the daytime. Switching to thermal. The tiny 2-inch chickadee on the bird feeder photobombed my video. Also notice the person walking at the school. Distance is about 300 feet. Our final image we shot Mother's Day 2021. Notice from the shadows that the sun is backlighting the people, yet there is very good details in the shadows. This was accomplished by using the included spotlight accessory. Distance was about 10 feet and more than enough light output for inspections and night operations. We have reached the end of this tutorial. I hope that you have found this presentation helpful. On a legal note, for the most part, the FAA would probably consider almost all uses of this drone as falling under Part 107 rules. I would highly suggest that you get this certification if you don't have one already. On a personal note, I had issues with this drone initially. That's why I did this tutorial. But after digging deeper into its capabilities, I've changed my mind. I give it 2 thumbs up. Thanks for watching.